So the first question that I have is from Lark's Gardens, and it was about the chickweed video. And she says, "Thank you, Brighid, for your great content, plus your time, energy, and knowledge." Thank you, Lark. Greatly appreciated. When in season do you make your medicinal infusion? Fresh or slightly wilted? I'm guessing because this is a water-based infusion, fresh is best. You're a great teacher and I find you easy to follow. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Your energy is soothing. Thank you again. So thanks so much, Lark's Gardens. This is a good question. And for Nourishing Herbal Infusions, we always use dried plant material. And there's a few reasons why we do that. So you can harvest your fresh chickweed and dry it and then use it for your infusion. What we're really going for with the infusions, I love to make tinctures with fresh plant material, but I find that, and some teas, especially with aromatic herbs, fresh material is great. But you have to use a lot more of it, you'll notice. And when we dry the plant material, we lose maybe up to 75% water. So it really kind of condenses everything else that's in that plant. I even find tea with dried plant material, even if it's dried mint, to be a lot stronger in flavor than tea that's with fresh plant material. So I'm definitely not a stickler as far as fresh plant material in a water-based extract. I almost feel like dry is better, especially if it's good quality dried. Other reasons why we use dried plant material only in Nourishing Herbal Infusions is, one, we are able to extract the minerals better from dried plant material because we've already gone through a process where we've broken the cell walls and made those minerals more available. So when we are looking to really get what's inside the plant cell walls, we have to break apart those walls, and they're so strong. Like, think about a wood table. Like, cellulose is very strong, and they're so tiny that you can't like chop them because they're just so small. It doesn't really work out that way. You can't chew them apart. So we have to break those cell walls there's 5 main ways to do that. One is dehydration, which is what we're doing when we're drying the plant. The other ways are cooking at a high temperature for a long period of time, so roasting. Or what we're doing with the infusion is we're steeping it for a long period of time at a high temperature. We're putting boiling water over the herb and we're putting a tight lid on it, which really kind of vacuum seals it and keeps that heat in the cooking process. So we are extracting the minerals by those 2 processing techniques. Other ways to break the cell wall is freezing and covering in oil and fermentation. So that is why. The other reason why we use dried plant material is because, if you think about your herb, especially chickweed, which is so full of moisture, when you go from fresh plant material to dried plant material, the fresh plant material is so much bulkier. And so it might even be hard. Let's say it's 4 times the weight. I don't know exactly, but on average, maybe it's 4 times the weight fresh material is to dried plant material. And so you'd have to actually put 4 times the amount of chickweed into your quart jar to get the same amount as, 1 part of the dried chickweed. And with some herbs, that's actually really hard to do, like with stinging nettle or red clover blossom or some of these other like really kind of fluffier herbs and lightweight herbs. It would be really hard to put 4 ounces of fresh plant material into the jar versus 1 ounce of dried plant material into the jar. So, and then also the other thought I had on that was logistically, it's a lot easier if you don't feel like you have to, like, before you make an infusion, run outside and harvest fresh plant material or have it left over from yesterday partly wilted. We want to make the nourishing infusions as easy to incorporate into your lifestyle as possible. And working with the dried plant material, I think, allows that as well. So thanks for your questions so much. I definitely, with fresh chickweed, if you're harvesting it fresh, I love to make a fresh chickweed pesto. Again, we're covering it in oil, so that is really helpful. As far as breaking the cell wall, that's one way to do it. And then the other thing is when I make a chickweed tincture, I use fresh chickweed as well. And again, we're not really going for the minerals when we're making a chickweed tincture. We're going more for the saponins and other constituents. And when I think of chickweed tincture, I think of it more as, you know, breaking up kind of cysts and, you know, bumpy, lumpy tissue kind of. And where the infusion can do that as well, because you are getting saponins in your infusion, but you're also getting a lot of minerals and nourishing qualities. So thanks so much for your question, Lark's Garden.